So when Persephone asked me, what the takeaway I wanted to share with you folks is, I realized that I wanted to talk to you folks about stories. I have this quote here from David Woods and Richard Cook from the writing to where they encourage us to pursue second stories, where second stories are beneath the surface, and that's where we discover multiple contributors. You ever read like a movie synopsis on Netflix or something for like a movie you've seen, and you read it and you're like, you're not wrong, but you've also missed the entire point of the movie? A lot of our first stories are like that, where you can't pick one that you said, well, that didn't fit. There's nothing incorrect about it, but it really doesn't tell you about what actually happened. It doesn't give you sort of a toehold into the understanding that Persephone talked about. It doesn't give you a way to relate it to your own experiences. It's only through second stories that we're able to do this. Second stories show us challenges, constraints, adaptations that helped everyone who was there get through what it was. Just that first story alone does not reveal any of these things. Really, without this second story somewhere in our process, in our review, in whatever we call it, it's kind of impossible to learn from an event. If every event you had at your company I reduced to an Excel spreadsheet with timestamps and said, make sure this doesn't happen again, you'd either make sure it happened again in different timing to make me technically correct, or you'd be stuck. So stories are very powerful. And despite that, they still have this power to help us understand the way things worked from the perspective of the people, because the story sort of rises and falls in a way that we don't necessarily know what's going to happen next. And that's critical because the people, often us, who were in that event, in that incident, in that problem, we didn't know what was going to happen next. So when we step back and we try to learn from these things, it's really tempting to take that knowledge of well, I know what happened. I can see that the smoke wasn't in the spot it was supposed to be. And it's really easy and tempting to sort of just like draw this straight line story. But we need to tell our stories in these sort of rising and falling, remembering that we don't know or didn't know at the time what's going to happen next. It's also a hook to help people remember. At your organization, I doubt you have water cooler or break room conversations about, oh yeah, did you hear that Jane did this thing at 10:05:53? No, you say, wow, did you see that thing that happened?